Hello, everybody. My name's Ryan Wohl. I am here joined by our sports editor, Jordan Pollock. How are you today?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day in LA.
Yeah, it is a beautiful day in LA. And Jordan, we're right behind us is the historic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, the host of the 1984 Olympics, and it's really just beautiful around here.
It is. This stadium's also been host to NFL teams, the Olympics, USC Trojans. So it's a very historical venue, and it's just really cool as like a fan of football and a fan of sports to be out here on this almost sacred ground.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I've been watching games here my whole life almost, and to be here is really surreal. So I'm glad to be here, and let's get into why we are here, and that is because our Arizona Wildcats are here to face off against the USC Trojans at 4 p.m. just in a few hours. Arizona is 21.5-point underdogs. What do you think about that? How do you see this one playing out?
Well, based on how U of A's been playing, it's a good spot, but it's also kind of weird because USC has not been playing very well either. I know they only have barely a double-digit loss off of Notre Dame from last week, who's a top 15 team according to the College Football Playoff Committee.
And then before that, they got blown out by Utah.
Yeah, which Utah's good.
Utah's good.
Utah's good. They did smother ASU a few weeks ago. Love to see that, but we'll see. I don't think it's a terrible betting odds. I'm not super surprised it's that large, and I would not be super surprised if a lot of people take that bet.
I think that Arizona could cover this spread. It's kind of concerning that the line keeps moving up. I think it started at around 17 a week ago, and now it's up to 21.5, as I mentioned. So we'll see how it goes, but let's get into Arizona a little bit. Will Plummer will be starting his second straight game. He started 2 games earlier in the season, but as we know, Jordan McLeod, Gunnar Cruz hurt.
What do you think of the season?
Yeah. What did you think of his performance last week? He threw for under 100 yards, and he didn't look like he was in control of the offense a lot.
Yeah, I think their problem last week was the second half, their defense melting down. I think right now they need Will Plummer to manage games, and last week he did that for the majority of his ability to manage the game. I know I'm pretty positive we'll see Jamari Joyner line up at quarterback a few plays like we did last week. But they just need him to not turn the ball over and make some easy completions and get the ball in the hands of Barry Hill and Joyner and some of our younger running backs.
Yeah, I really think turnovers were the issue. He threw that interception late in the third quarter when Arizona was up 16-7, I believe, and that was really the turning point. I'm not saying Arizona was guaranteed points there because we know against Colorado they were at the 1-yard line, couldn't get the job done 4 straight times.
Yeah.
But that was really a turning point. Before I thought Will Plummer excelled at being a game manager, not turning the ball over. But if his turnover issues continue, do you think there's a chance that we could see Joyner maybe play more an extended amount of time and maybe start a game here down the stretch?
As of right now, Jedfish has made us believe that is not the case and that won't be the case. But we also have 2 quarterbacks that are hurt. I think possibly injuries. I really hope not. I hope Will Plummer can stay healthy, but he's already been banged up a little bit this season. I think that's the only way we really see Joyner full time at quarterback is due to injuries. But he's still going to be using a gadget way, the way he's been used over the last few weeks, and it's very specific Wildcat formations and stuff like that.
Yeah, and as we know, the quarterback room has changed very much week to week.
Yeah.
Nobody would have thought at the beginning of the year Jamari Joyner, former number 1 to 2 receiver, was going to find his way not having any plays at the position group, and now full-time at being quarterback is really weird. But quarterbacks getting injured, stuff happens week to week. Different things change.
Yep. I think some of the biggest keys for this week is going to be how many times Barry Hill gets the ball and whether he can get yards and keep making plays after the catch. And the defense. Is the defense going to show up for 4 straight quarters?
Yeah, I think they showed up for. I think they played very well for 3.5. But I think it was their overall best game. Before they stay in it for 2 to 3. Now they got into the fourth quarter. So let's see if they can finish out the fourth quarter. But, a few guys, Jordan, that impressed me this past week, were the young running backs, Jalen John, Stevie Rocker
Rocky.
Jr. Do you think they can see that they could increase role, can continue, or do you see Wiley and Anderson taking some of the carries back?
Fish has talked a little bit about them being available, so I think they'll play a little bit, and I think probably Rocker and the other running backs' carries will slightly go down, but I think it'll be a pretty big running back room in that sense. I think they'll all get a mediocre amount of carries.
Yeah, well, before we go here, Jordan, I just want to get our predictions for this game. Arizona is trying to break their 18-game losing streak dating back to October 5th, 2019. Jed Fish 0-7 in his head coaching career here at Arizona. How do you see this one playing out later today?
I think I'm still going to double down. I think history is going to be made either way. Either we're going to hit 20-game losing streak, or we're going to win a game for the first time in 2 years. I think it's going to be very low scoring. Caden Slovis has still really struggled over the last few weeks. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm doubling down on my prediction earlier this week. I think Juve ends the streak, and they win 17-14 by field goal.
Wow. You know that Arizona hasn't won here, in 11
very
plus
long
years.
time.
Yeah, I believe 12 years, actually. They haven't won
I think
here.
Pete Carroll might have been here when the last time that happened.
I think so, too. I'm going to go differ a little bit. I've gone Arizona every game almost here. I'm going to go USC 34, Arizona 21 to keep it under the number, the 21.5-point spread. But anything before we go here, Jordan?
I don't think so. It'll be exciting to see how these fans turn out. The tailgates are already starting. It's
early in the morning.
How early? Almost 11 a.m.
Yeah.
So
well, it's great to be here. I'm happy to be at the Coliseum for the first time. And everyone follow us on Twitter at Wildcat Sports, at Daily Wildcat on Instagram for all of our game day coverage. And thanks for tuning in.